Hello, friends, and thank you for joining me as we venture on this journey of caring for our loved ones at home, especially with dementia, which is extremely difficult physically, emotionally, spiritually. Dementia is a testing situation within a family. Thank you for joining me. As you watch this, please go ahead and share with somebody, especially if you know somebody that is dealing with this journey in their homes. Go ahead and share this video. Also, let me know where you are watching from. Feel free to share if you have certain experiences that other people can learn from or questions. I very much appreciate feedback. When I get feedback, I do get feedback. And indeed, I know people are benefiting from these videos. Kenya, Mugeni, Ameru. I'm so glad to be here with you. And again, my greatest inspiration is caring for our loved ones at home when they are in need. Um, I know in Kenya there is not very much resources. I have parents, my dad currently, who is elderly, and my mom recently went to be with the Lord. So I do understand the challenges that people, especially in Kenya, face. But as a chaplain of very many years and working with many families, dealing with the same situations, I know that this is universal. So, welcome. And today I'm talking about keeping it simple for our loved ones. Now, when your loved one is dealing with dementia, basically it's a neurological condition which causes cognitive decline. Therefore, your loved one, the ability to process information slows down. They don't think very fast or even clearly. Also, um, the memory becomes a big issue. The ability to remember becomes a big issue. So, in dealing with your loved one, it really helps to understand that your loved one is not in the same place as you when it comes to thinking, reasoning, processing information. Also, they cannot come to where you are. So it's up to you as a caregiver to meet them where they are. And one of the things that I like to remind people that are dealing with this situation is number one, your loved one, when they are elderly and they have dementia, they are not a child. They are not a child, even though they have aspects that seem childlike, they are not a child and they are not acting like a child. They have dementia and it's a condition. They can't help it. So it helps for you to understand that as a caregiver and to do what you can to meet them where they are. Now, with decline in cognition, with decline in memory, someone is not able to process information as fast, as well as sometimes we think they should. So, if you are in a hurry, it throws your loved one off because they can't process that fast. So, it throws them off. Simple tasks like when you serve food on the table. So I'm gonna give you an example. So one morning, I served my dad with breakfast, and my dad was an accountant. He was an accountant. Um, he still is so good with his numbers. It's just amazing how our minds work. So if you ask my dad, this plus this, he's just gonna tell you. In his days, they did not have calculators. They didn't have calculators. They had to calculate by writing it down, or over time memorizing numbers and knowing how to add them, subtract them, multiply them. So amazingly, my dad is so good with his numbers. But he's had a good life. He's had a really good life. He's been blessed. Um, he was married to my mom for 62 years until my mom passed away in the last year and a few months. And so, why do I share this? I share this to tell you that none of us is immune, and you never know what your future is or my future. We just don't know. We live for today and make the best of our lives, but we don't know what our future holds. And I also share this to let you know that dementia is not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's something that nobody chooses. So when you see someone with dementia, don't make fun of them or don't look down on somebody because they have dementia. And one of the reasons that I share this education, both my parents were community educators for many, many years. So I talked with my dad and I said, Papa, I'm doing this. I'm educating, sharing this information. Is that okay? He can understand, but he won't remember. And he said, sure. They have been educators of the community themselves. But here is the thing. I share this information because we have to fight the stigma that come with people being sick, with people having a condition here and a condition here, and we like to hide what our suffering is because we don't want to be victimized or to be rejected. And I'm here to share because I love my parents to pieces. I love them and love them and love them. And I share this, number one, to inspire people. You can care for your loved one at home. As a matter of fact, I believe that we should. I believe we should. I believe having a medical condition is nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It can happen to anybody. And the other thing is, I have a lot of education in healthcare. For 26 years, I've worked within healthcare systems, which 18 of those years as a hospice chaplain. I've also served in hospital setting. I share with you because whatever information I have, I want to share with you, especially whoever is trying to do this. I've got a lot of feedback from people that are saying this is really helping. People that are going through this and they thought it was a horrible thing, and now they are realizing, oh, this is things that happen to people, and this is how we can do it better. So, this is why I'm sitting here sharing this information. And this is why I ask you to share, because I know, especially in Kenya, I have nurse friends and they tell me this education is not available there. So share this information. And my goal is to inspire people to care for their loved one, love them at home, be patient with them. They can't help it. They need you. They need us. They really do. Okay, I was about to share um, a picture here. So this morning, I set up Papa's breakfast. Um, this is what you see here is an egg, mostly egg white. What you see here is some pills that he takes in the morning, and there's porridge, which he loves. It's uji, and then there's a cup of tea. So I served him breakfast and I put everything right there on the table. And the next thing I knew was that um, my dad pushed back his egg, pushed back everything, and took the pills. And what I've noticed is that if I'm not watching, he takes the pills and he chews them. They are bitter, they are nasty, and it's a suffering that our loved ones don't need. So when you put everything on the table for your loved one, it's very confusing and it's very overwhelming, which is why it really helps instead of putting everything on the table like I did here. It helps to number one, of course, pay attention um, when they are eating, but um, here is a good picture of what you can do differently. Um, let's see. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. This is what you can do differently. Just give one thing at a time, maybe in order, and it's recommended that you start with fruit, follow with protein, and let the carbs be the last thing you serve. They are just fillers. Even though our body need energy giving food, it doesn't need very much. But if you start by giving your loved one carbohydrates, which is what we tend to like the most, they're gonna eat the carbohydrates, they're gonna fill up on the carbohydrates, and then they won't be able to eat the things that are good for them, like the vitamins in fruit or the protein that they are eating. So, in making it simple, you are making those choices for them, like serving one thing at a time, um, making sure they have, if it's that they have pills to swallow, making sure they have something to use to swallow it. I've noticed when I put pills on the table for my dad and he doesn't have something to swallow, instead of waiting until he has something to swallow, he goes ahead, he puts the pills in the mouth and he starts chewing them. So learning to not put those pills on the table is something I have had to learn, because at first I would put the pills there and he would just take them and put them in the mouth and be chewing them. And if you know, pills can be very bitter and very nasty. So making it simple, just think, um, I said they are not children, but think like you are serving a child who expects you to make every decision for them. So serve the first things first. Make sure you're giving the medication with something to swallow with and things like that. This also helps foster their independence. So instead of constantly doing everything for them, all the time, which takes away their abilities. When you make it simple, give them one thing at a time, instead of saying, oh, not that. So one day when I caught him taking the pills and putting them in the mouth, and I'm going like, oh, not the pills, and taking them from him, you know, if you just think ahead, and it's again, it's a learning journey. I'm learning, because even with all the experience, until you take care of your loved one day in, day out, it's a learning journey. You learn as you go. So, in realizing, oh, yeah, don't put the pills on the table because he's not gonna wait. So it's a learning journey, the same way. But then when you have to stop him and say, no, 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 and take them, and now, it's you are taking away the independence, which, you're thinking of dignity, retaining their dignity as long as you can. So learning to think ahead, making things simple when it comes to their clothes. Lay them with the first thing, the next thing, the next thing, so that they can go in order of how they'll put their clothes on. And then they are left getting dressed, and they can do that and just let them dress themselves as long as they can. Same to showers, same to the things that they can do by themselves. Make it simple so that they can continue to do those things for themselves and feel respected, feel supported, feel like they can do something for themselves, without somebody going, hey, um, you know. So I just wanted to inspire you with that. It takes purpose, it takes intention. The more you can purpose and be intentional about it, because also what can tend to happen is, if you are not purposeful, and this also goes with parenting. I've seen it a lot with parenting, and it's the same thing, is we want to do things in a hurry. There is no time, we're in a rush. And so instead of letting the other person do it at their pace, we feel that they are holding us down. And so I just want to do it and get it over with. So you are doing it for them. And the more you do it for them, the more you are taking away their independence, their abilities. Because if you don't keep practicing something, you lose it. If you don't keep practicing a skill, you lose it. So if your loved one stops practicing, um, sometimes when my dad comes home, he's really, really tired and he just flop on the couch. And, I go like, Papa, take off your shoes. And he just stretches his legs and goes like this. And sometimes he's really tired. I take off his shoes. But I don't make a habit of taking off his shoes every day. If there isn't any reason that I can see to take off his shoes, I just say, oh, Papa, just take them off and I'll take them. So that the practice of the skill keeps him with the ability to do it. When you take away that ability to do it, then they forget. They forget, and then they are not able to do it, and they also feel worse about themselves, as time goes. So again, this is McKenna inspiring you in caring for our loved ones at home. Thank you for sharing any feedback. Thank you for inspiring me. Those who have inspired me and said, keep doing this, I appreciate it. I'll keep doing it. Um, let's care for our loved ones. They did it for us. And the other thing is also just forgiveness. Sometimes there are parents that we might feel like they don't deserve it, but the forgiveness, and if you find it in your heart, any strength to do it, trust me, it's worth it. I know people who have forgiven and gone this road, and to see how God has opened doors for them is amazing. So, have a blessed day, and let's continue to do this together.